We're going to continue to now as we did before, the book of Joshua, and that particular part in the book that we were reading before. And we talked about the fact that you should read that part of Joshua. And what we're going to do today is get some comments. Now, what I'm going to use first is this huge, really nice Bible, the Baker Illustrated Study Bible. And it is a wonderful study Bible. And one of the great things about it, of course, is the introduction to all the books. And when you go through it, also, you will have a lot of good illustrations about the areas that they're talking about. And they will also have word study notes also on the bottom, for example, that's one of the good thing about it. Like if we're in Jeremiah, let's say Jeremiah, examples of a godly leader. Now that's a word study about him. And also they have notes under there about different translations, what they might mean, and so forth, plus cross references. But and a word study like a broad wall, that'll give you a word study. That's an article. Sorry about that. And then there's a word study. Now in this one, when we get to the book of Joshua, also there are very, very good illustrations as well. You'll see, for example, the one below this page, which is actually a picture of the city defense system that Joshua was dealing with. And you will see that picture right here. You see that's the city defense system with everything on the side over there where my thumb is to tell you about it. So now in here, what we will find in this section, we're dealing, of course, with Joshua 5, and we're verses 13 through 15, which is what we've been doing so far, because those are the verses that we are studying. So what we get, of course, is that there was this vision or this person that Joshua seemed to see, and we want to know who or what it was. And I told you from what I got before, from one of the Bibles that I was working with, it said that it was the pre-incarnation. That was the Willington Bible Handbook. That was a pre reference to Jesus before he was incarnate. That was part of the Jesus who was there all the time, as in John chapter 1, the first verse. He was the Logos. He was with God and with God, and incarnation didn't change that. It just became visible. Now, in here, are we dealing with that pre-incarnation of Jesus when he became flesh? Are we dealing with that in here or not? So what you have in here are quite good notes, and therefore I will read some of these to you. We might not have time for all of them, but I will begin. So this is what this Bible has to say about that. It says here, in this particular Bible, in fact, I want to get something better to read that with. We find at the beginning it says, if the above were all intended to raise Israel's confidence ahead of their impending battle to take possession of the land, then the final confided booster comes when the Israelites being moved toward Jericho, their first military account of the ancient population. So Joshua looks up, he sees a man standing before him with a drawn sword in his hand. Waiting to ascend whether he is a friend or a foe, Joshua asks if he is for him or against him. That's verse 13. The answer he gets is neither. The man identifies himself as a commander of the Lord's army. Now that's very interesting, a commander of the Lord's army. But the answer he gets implies that his role is not so much to help, but assure command in the Lord's battle. Joshua is thus being reminded that the battle is ultimately not Israel's battle, but the Lord providing help. But the Lord's battle with Israel needing to submit to his command. Now, we're going to stop here and come right back into this reading before we go further.